Basically what we're gonna talk about a little bit today is like, should you buy expensive studio gear? Should you buy mid tier, or should you buy cheap stuff? And I'm gonna say it really boiled down to what you're doing. Like when I was a kid, I really didn't have a lot of money. I used to go mow grass with my dad and stuff, help my dad. We used to go up on the lake, and like mow grass and trim hedges, just do all type of shit. But when I was a kid, I really didn't have that much money. So I started off with cheap music gear, you know. And some people say that you shouldn't buy cheap music gear. You should just automatically buy the most expensive thing and then learn how to use that. I feel like if you got the budget to buy the expensive stuff, knock yourself out. But I feel like everybody is not in that space to buy expensive stuff. And my thing is like, I feel like, you ever heard that old saying, you should crawl before you try to start running? So when I started with cheap gear. And once I started hitting those limitations, that's when I upgraded. So I went from the cheap stuff to now I say my studio is like, I say I'm in the sweet spot. I'm right in the middle. I say my stuff is mid tier, not top of the line, but mid tier. And it's like everything that I picked out in my studio, I did my research and I picked out my equipment according to my needs. I just felt like, say for instance with this keyboard. Now this keyboard got the Motif sound set. Sounds phenomenal. I was looking at a Motif, and I think that thing was like what, $3,000 and some dollars, almost $4,000. If you're gonna spend that type of money on something, make sure you buying it for the right thing. I'm not a sound designer, so in my mind, I was thinking like, why would I buy the Motif for $3,000 to $4,000 when I'm not a sound designer? I just like to go in, pick my patches, pick my sounds, maybe layer them, maybe throw some EQ on them, some reverb, maybe play with the gates, maybe play with the oscillators, and that's it. That's far as I'm going when it comes to editing my sounds. I feel like if you're going to spend that type of money, you should be into sound design or playing on stage. Same thing with my MPC-1, I could have got the flagship, MPC-X, but I knew I wanted to travel with this. So to me, it didn't make sense to go get the big MPC-X when I know I'm going to want to travel. So my MPC-1, I'm able to travel with that. You can see the size of it, it's travel size. And then when it comes to my Key 61, this don't go nowhere. This stay right here. I don't take this out of the studio. So that's why I bought this, because I know this was going to be stationary. I got that because I know I was going to travel with it. I got this because this got the Motif sound set in there without paying $3,000 and some dollars. So when it comes to your gear, just know what you buying. Just don't buy expensive stuff just because people tell you to. Just do your research and think about what you trying to do, and then build your studio around what you trying to do. Even with my MIDI controller, I know I had one person that was like, man, why he got all this MPC stuff? He got 1, 2, 3 different MPC things. That's for traveling. This stationary for the studio. This just a MIDI controller. This right here control a lot of my virtual instruments on my computer, because I got a lot of virtual instruments that I don't have on here, and that's not on there. So everything in my studio has a purpose. I could have just filled up my whole back wall with music equipment, but I'm like, what's the point in that? Because I know like what I'm trying to do. I do like R&B music, I do hip hop music, and I do rap and trap, and I mostly do it for the city that I'm in, for the different artists in the city. So by me having a premium studio, this fits me perfect. It's a lot of people that built major studios and they out of business because, it's like a lot of people is coming to people like me now and probably coming to people like y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because technology didn't advance so far to like you can damn near get some of the same sound quality that you can almost get in a major studio if you know what you're doing. Like I'm mixing my headphones right now. I'm finna get my room treated that's my next upgrade, is I'm finna treat my room. But I do my mixing in my headphones, you know what I'm saying? Even with my mic, if you come over here to my mic, I got this stuff up here for to absorb those waves and those sounds. And then I got this right here. So even if I get real close, you can hear my voice and change. It's deadening my voice. And then when you come out here, see my voice sound different now. So I mean, you know, technology then came a long way while you can record hit records in a studio like this. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to you buying, you know, the most expensive stuff, if it's in your budget to buy it, by all means buy it. But you don't necessarily need the most expensive shit, you know what I'm saying, to make a platinum record, a gold record, or to go to radio. If you know what you're doing and you know how to work your equipment, you know, you pretty much can, you know, you can get away with it. But the next thing I'm going to do is treat my room, though, so my whole room will sound dead. But like I say, you know, I mix on my headphones, so it's really not a problem to me, you know what I'm saying? And I got the same headphones. I got them there. I got another pair down there. If you come over here, same pair of headphones. You know, I really like those headphones. So, you know. But, yeah, man, that's the only thing I really wanted to talk about, man. You don't need the most expensive music gear, man. But I say, like, just go as expensive as you can afford. You know what I'm saying? If you can afford it, go for it. I know it made more sense for me to go with a mid-tier studio. It really wouldn't have made sense for me to go with a top-of-the-line studio, because I know the kind of clients that I get. I know the type of people I record for. I'm not recording for like Jay-Z or Future or Kanye West. I'm not recording for people like that, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, the people I record for, even if Jay-Z or Kanye West was to come in here, they got so much knowledge and they done been around this stuff. Kanye West probably could come in my studio and probably make this motherfucker start flying like a spaceship, you know what I'm saying? Like real talk. But I would say try to start from mid-tier at least, because music equipment is kind of affordable. Back in the day, it wasn't affordable. It's kind of affordable. So I would say try to stay away from the cheap stuff if you can, and at least try to go mid-tier. I say try to go mid-tier and up. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man. So, you know, I'll be back with some more videos and stuff. Like I said, you know, been spending time with my son. I raised my son ever since he was a baby, you know what I'm saying? So that's my boy, that's my little homie right there. So I gotta spend time with him and make sure he's straight. Plus having time for myself. But I'm about to be back in the studio, man, and this for a lot of my newer people, bro. Everybody that's professionals, you know, I ain't talking to y'all. This for my newer people that's, you know, trying to get into studio. And I'm looking at it from my perspective, you know, as somebody that, you know, really didn't have a lot of money growing up. Somebody who didn't grow up around, you know, Dr. Dre's and the Snoop Dogg's, and growing up around famous music producers. A lot of us didn't have a chance to grow up around those kind of people. So, you know, we trying to get it out the mud. We trying to figure it out. I had to do everything the hard way and figure shit out the hard way. So I just want to get on here and talk to y'all and kind of just point a few things out to help y'all, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah, man. So if you can afford to go expensive, but ain't nothing wrong with buying mid-tier equipment. You know what I'm saying? If you know what you're doing, you can go gold and you can go platinum and you can go #1. As always, God bless y'all. Your boy G. Taylor 1.